So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey everybody, this is Ho Ho Hong Kong, the podcast. If you were mixing up with other Ho Ho Hong Kong, that is called One Chai, but this is the podcast, people. So I am one of your co-hosts who, my name is Vivek Mabubani, along with the other...
Muhammad Magdi.
Yay! He said it correctly this time.
I am right here. It's the last day. We're recording on the last day of Ramadan. Actually, this is coming out on the last day of Ramadan.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to not be fasting or
Right.
not. Yeah.
Enough, man. Enough,
It's tough. It's tough
Right,
with the
yeah.
weather is getting hotter as
Yeah.
well.
But officially, like, how strict are you with Ramadan? Like, do you do like the no water, the no food, the no everything?
Yeah, I try.
You
yeah,
try.
I really try.
Yeah, I mean, like, what happens? So I always like was interested, like, okay, loophole is that what if someone splashes water on you and it gets in your mouth? You're like,
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah, so any accident
Yeah.
is fine.
Oh, so
Anything
like-
that is not intentional, because at the end of the day, it's a practice. Not to get too crazy here, but like it's a practice between you and God. So you
Ah.
can cheat if you want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like one of the funniest things is every Ramadan we always have people who are like, so it's usual, like people are curious who are not Muslim or whatever.
Yeah.
And we made a T-shirt back in Egypt that says "not even water" and then every white person, because that's the most common question we get.
Yeah. They're like, oh.
Yeah, because you
yeah.
explain it and they're like, oh yeah, we get it. Fasting means no drinking. And you
Yeah.
go, also no water. And
Yeah.
they go, not even water?
Yeah,
It's
they're
the same format of
Exactly,
the question.
yeah, exactly.
And we would just make that T-shirt and give it to them.
Yeah. Because that was also for my same reaction. I was
Yeah.
like, no, what? Like, that's 70% of your body, man.
Yeah.
Like, damn, God is strict for you, man.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's easier in a place like Hong Kong where everywhere there is AC,
Yeah.
where you can just cool yourself down.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in the Middle East, man, like because Ramadan is on the lunar calendar, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Chinese New Year. It goes back every 2 weeks or like every year for like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So right now it's like okay, the beginning of summer.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's in the middle of summer
Oh.
in Middle East heat.
Yeah.
And it's just like people are wearing hijab and stuff. It's crazy. Like
That's-
it's actually kind of unhealthy. but-
Right? That's
yeah.
pretty intense.
But then the rule is that if you are feeling any sort of discomfort, like or threat to your physical health,
Yeah.
you just break your fast.
Okay. So there's a lot of like gray area. You're like, well, technically, I was feeling uncomfortable. What
Yeah.
happened? I was playing.
Also, if you're traveling for more than like an hour or whatever,
Yeah.
you can break your fast. If you're pregnant, if you are sick of any, like if you need to be on any sort of medication,
Yeah.
all of that is like allowed.
So like this is where I would come and like find all these stupid
Yeah.
excuses. Like if you're traveling more now, my whole life's a journey. It's like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, you clearly don't understand the concept of
Yeah.
Ramadan. You clearly are like, this is another. So this is the problem with you, right? Remember my whole issue with like everything's a to-do list?
Yeah.
Ramadan's like, okay, did I get that done today? Is it on my to-do list? It's like, you know, and I'm constantly thinking like, how can I get this done before it's like sunrise? You know,
Yeah.
how can I get this done before sunset? So I'll be like looking at like, okay, so if I'm taking medication, technically vitamins,
Yeah,
you know,
supplements. Yeah,
exactly.
You just load up on supplements,
Right, exactly.
And the
yeah.
instructions say take every 6 hours
Yeah,
or whatever.
like-
You're like, that's it.
Right? It's like anything to consult with your doctor first. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Before eating this meal, consult with your doctor first. I'm like, wait a second. This is
Yeah.
medication.
Yeah. Or you can go like all the way to like Taipo and back or something. You're like,
Yeah.
see, I'm traveling more than an
I
hour.
did, exactly, right? Oh, that'd be so good. Like, and the best thing is that actually you could basically just take a car, take a whatever, and just be like working on the car.
Yeah.
Just drive around. Be like, hey, I'm technically traveling.
Right.
Yeah. Or daydream. I'm daydreaming. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is sad, man. Like,
You can see, you guys can hear that like we've had guests for a couple of weeks.
yeah.
And we were like, all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. we
go
want
back-
more airtime for ourselves.
Yeah, more airtime for we're comedians. We want all the attentions for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And
so-
speaking of attention, man, we're back. I mean, shows are coming back in.
Yeah, I
you
know.
live shows,
Very
I mean.
exciting.
Yeah.
We're recording on Sunday as usual, and you're about to do a show tonight.
That is right. We're
What-
doing our Cantonese show tonight.
Where is it?
It's going to be in Tin Hao at this place called Sip Sip.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that the rooftop, right?
Yeah. But
okay.
we're doing the inner floor, the one
Okay.
floor below. So we're doing a small little room there. Just
Yeah,
to
I
get
feel like the
started.
rooftop could be brutal when it comes to like the heat and then the
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
yeah.
Like you better be really funny for someone to drip, sweat
Yeah.
and be like, I'm gonna listen to this guy. And also, yeah. So rooftop not happening. We're doing the indoors area.
Nice. So
Which
just
would be-
kind of to come back into the routine.
correct. Yeah. And also, it has a beautiful view, but luckily nighttime, so you can't see shit. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How long how many times?
So I did a couple of shows. We did one in Sai Kung with Comedy HK about a week ago. It was really fun show. great audience. I think they're very appreciative of just things
Just
coming
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Having to do something. And the Sai Kung audience is kind of interesting because they're all kind of like a cultish group. They all know each other. There's some, you can tell that there's a couple of people who are kind of like opinion leaders. So sometimes it's so funny. Like I'm sitting in the back of the room watching the show, and people usually turn to a couple of people to see if they are laughing, if they're approving. When comedians making fun of Sai Kung or whatever, and they look to like the mayor, and they're like, is he laughing? Okay, we can laugh. It's so strange.
Oh, they haven't got this permanent residency in Sai Kung yet, right?
Exactly.
They've only there for like 6 years. They're like, oh, I can't laugh just yet until the residents are laughing.
Yeah. The show was really good. Tim To, Canadian Chinese comedian that if you're in Hong Kong, you probably have seen, went up and he started talking about drugs like a lot. I'm not telling a secret. This is part of his act. But he talks about drugs a lot. And he kind of lost the room at some point because there were like too much drug references. And then the audience was kind of like older, like age bracket.
Oh, okay.
But then they're
done with the drugging.
Right, exactly. I think they've done too much drugs that they forgot they did drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they're like, what are you talking about? But anyway, the funniest thing is that he doubled down on the drug references.
Kept going.
It kept going. And it became just funnier to the comedians in the back. Because he's clearly losing the audience. But he's getting like uncomfortable / annoyed at them.
It's like, how are you not getting this? Cocaine.
How are you not getting exactly? It's like, what is wrong with you guys? It was just funny to see. He usually does better at handling these situations. He's still like newish, but he does better at handling these situations. But the funny thing is that because we've all not been doing stand-up for a while, he kind of lost that like sensitivity of like how to get back a room or change the topic in like a more organic way. And it was just funny for us to see how uncomfortable he was getting.
But that's the problem, right? After all the couple of years like Zoom meetings with no reaction, he's like, well, they're not giving me reaction. That's normal, right? That's
exactly.
how it is. Oh man. So if you've never seen Tim To, check him out. And if you really like drug references, for example, I don't know, 420.
I know one person who would enjoy that. He actually has a YouTube channel called Tim To & Co. You should check it out. He puts these funny, 2 or 3 minute videos every week. They call it Straight Facts. And he just riffs on like Hong Kong news. It's actually quite funny. So check him out.
Tim To & Co.
Tim To & Co. on YouTube. I think he has Instagram as well that you can find him. But YouTube is his main thing for these videos.
You can check him out. So, of course, if you're able to go watch it live, I mean, what are you still watching YouTube videos for at this moment, right? But what it was like, I mean, when he went on stage, because of the rustiness, did it come out?
So I went up. Luckily, we have done a private show. I don't know if this is illegal, but whatever. This is a comedy show.
You did a show.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a couple of weeks ago.
Date.
I will, because
sure.
This is a comedy podcast. So none of the things I say, I think we talked about this. Like, are we legally liable to anything we say? Because it's kind of like being on stage, right?
Well, I guess so. I mean, like, just go for it. I mean, honestly, if at this point we get into legal trouble on this podcast, it's a good kind of problem.
That is true. I have already kind of prepared for this. That like if we get in legal trouble, it's probably good for like PR, like good PR. But at the same time, a few years in prison is not exactly worth it, I think.
Unless you buy me a lawyer. then
Buymealawyer.com.
You get like for $50 or something like that.
So we did a private show at some time in the past in an undisclosed location. And it was like for this kid's birth, not like a child, like a college kid's birthday or whatever. And that Garen had me hosting the show. So I walked up to a super cold room. What we call a cold room is like people who are not prepared for show, whatever. And it's a private show, so they're not sat properly and all of that. And I went up and I had to like get them set up for the show. And that actually helped me gain the sensitivity of dealing with audience back. So when I did the Sai Kung show, it was so much easier.
So they were already sat down?
They was already sat down. I was closing the show. So they had already sat through 2 halves of the show. They're kind of ready. And because I've had that incident happen in Sai Kung that I talked about on the podcast before, a couple of people from that show were excited to see me do a set, because last time I didn't really get to do a set. So they actually were, and they like waved at me. They're like, "Hey, we were here first show with that crazy lady," and I riffed on that a bit. But it was great.
But no one heckled just for good times?
No, I was actually kind of inviting because I went long. I was closing, and we still had time. So I ended up doing 25 minutes instead of 15 minutes. So at some point, I was kind of inviting it. I was doing a bit of crowd work, but they were pretty polite this time.
Yeah.
Sai Kung was a lot of fun. And then we did Soho House about a few days ago. Soho House, I was also closing the show, and that was a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Soho House from start to end, everyone did really well. And Soho House, obviously, Jordan, shout out to Jordan, had the best opening all night. Jordan Lang, you guys know him, 69 Ranch, he's been on the podcast. He walked up and he said, I don't think I'm giving that away because it's a very specific reference to Soho House. He said, you guys look like the target demographic of Nutrition Kitchen. And that was his opening line, and it crushed.
Yeah.
So good.
The funny thing is, I bet you everyone is subscribed to Nutrition Kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It crushed so hard because probably, you're right, everyone is a Nutrition Kitchen.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Like, I don't want to cook, but I want to know what I have to cook. You know, I don't want to go shopping, but I want to cook a good meal. You know,
It's also Soho House members. You know,
Obviously,
they're already wasting like 20 grand a year or whatever. Let me ask people. I'm sure among our listeners there will probably be a couple of Soho House members. What the fuck do you get from that? Except for, which I understand, going to other Soho Houses around the world, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like the Hong Kong one, and I will delete this episode if you give me a free membership. But until then,
hey, we'll delete this episode if you give us 2 free memberships.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm here too, man.
Until then, like I've been a few times with Garen and them. What do you actually get? Like, sure, there is a view and whatever.
Yeah.
But the drinks are not free.
Yeah.
The food is not free. It's actually kind of expensive if you're not on like half price Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're basically paying for the gym and like a WeWork kind of situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you understand?
I get it. Like, okay, so because some people do have a subscription to office spaces that they need.
Yeah.
And that becomes like an all-in-one. And I think also do like washing for your gym clothes. That's big. You do the math, man. Because like I was asking them, I was like 1,000 something a month, right?
Yeah.
And you think about the laundry. So if every time you do laundry, I think it was $100 at least.
Yeah.
Right. So that you multiply that. Let's say every week you go do twice.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
That's
I have a
$200.
washer, but I get like people. I imagine people who are Soho House members have washers in their house.
I'm sure they
and
do.
a helper.
Yeah,
probably.
But people also have the ability to go to the supermarket to shop, but they use Nutrition Kitchen. You know? There's a reason for those members. No, but I think like the first time I went in there, I was like blown away by the classiness. I was like, whoa, these places are really classy, you know, dimly lit. And actually, I visited one of their rooms to see potential shows.
Yeah,
and it's like really like proper cabaret kind of mini rooms, and I was like, whoa, this is Hong Kong.
No, I know it's beautiful. What I'm saying is that like, what is the actual benefit for members?
Right?
Yeah.
I guess it's the exclusivity. You know,
Yeah,
like you
that
kind of
makes
go like,
sense.
you know, I'm a Soho House member. You're just a Soho Home user, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because as much as I like to imagine that I don't want to be like snobby or whatever, the second I get upgraded to business class when I'm flying or whatever, I immediately look down on everyone on the flight. It's which is crazy because I was thinking about it I was actually trying to write a bit about it, about how like we give white people shit for white privilege.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking dumb to not use any sort of privilege you have.
Yeah.
Is it like, you know, like you wouldn't use it because what? You feel bad for others? Like that doesn't make any sense. So when you're white and you're using, I was like, of course you're just like if you'll use your privilege if you have a lounge access card to the airport.
Of course, yeah.
Are you gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna use it because look at all these other poor people not having access to the lounge.
Yeah. Well,
silly.
okay, exactly. Yeah. So I think the Soho House thing is definitely clearly number one for networking because they're like, oh, you're one of us. Okay, I can talk to you, right? Then that way you also know whenever you give anyone a quotation, you're like, hey, they can afford this quotation, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
I'm guessing that. I'm trying to remember because like, see, I've many years ago, I did consider like one of these co-working spaces because I was like, I need a space to work. I give good for networking. But the idea of leaving my home to go to a space that looks just like my home, and you know, and then like I'm like, it just doesn't really work. Because I know the whole work-life balance thing. You know, you work up there, you go home, you don't bring your work with you home, but it doesn't work, man.
It doesn't. I completely agree with you. About like, cause when I was working for Live Nation, we were based out of WeWorks.
Yeah.
So I had access to WeWork all over Hong Kong, and sometimes I would do the same thing. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go work at another not even the Live Nation WeWork, just a regular WeWork, and I go there. I'm like, this is the same. I'm sitting here. On like a Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting on a couch. I could be doing this at home.
Yeah.
Why did I bother?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't unless like there is crazy deals, which Soho House does not have.
Well, unless they listen to this podcast and give us a free one, then that's a
right.
crazy deal. Soho House, call us.
Actually, Soho House, if you do that, we're gonna keep the episode and completely change what the last few minutes ran.
Yeah.
And talk about how amazing Soho House is.
I tell you what, if you give us 2 free annual memberships,
Yeah.
and I mean annual as in lifetime annual. I'm not even asking for global. I'm
Yeah.
just asking for like a local.
Yeah, it's just Hong
okay.
Kong
Even
one.
if just a Sai Kung, that's
Yeah.
fine. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I promise you, for the next 5 episodes,
Yeah.
I will mention Soho House in a positive light. Okay, I will somehow figure out, even though you guys don't know how to use light switches over there, because everything is so dimly lit.
Yeah, it is. Great way to get them on board.
But I will help you. I will show you the light. I will
Yeah,
give
I
you
will show you
a
the
ray
light.
of sunshine on
Yeah.
your brand.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. If we do have access to it somewhere or another, it's literally 3 minutes walk from my house.
Yeah,
So that is
damn.
amazing.
Okay, now you see, this just shows you the integrity level that comedians are at.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I
Like the-
started with like,
Yeah, you
what
were
is
like-
the point of
Yeah,
Soho
right.
House? Now I'm like, please.
It's only 3 minutes away. I can leave this dump that I'm in. Just go there and be like sitting around.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I bet you anything. You know, like how a lot of like couples, especially local girls and boys and stuff, like they like
Yeah.
to go to different places and take those Instagram photos.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like you want to have your meetings from Soho House, so that way when you're like, oh, where am I? I'm at Soho House. You know, and they're like,
of course, there is like a status thing to it. For sure,
exactly, yeah.
I'm trying to actually. I don't think last time I was trying to tag them on Instagram or whatever. They didn't like their Instagram account was not that strong. They have way less followers than you and me. 1,400 followers. Soho House Hong Kong, but yeah, I think they started to be active again.
Yeah.
Recently because they were not before, but anyway, check them out. So House Hong
We'll
Kong.
help bump up your social media.
There you go.
By giving us I tell you what, I'll make one post for free.
I mean, you get paid to put stuff up
every now and then. Yeah, I do get that. I mean, my social media game isn't the strongest, as we discussed a few episodes ago.
Right,
and
right.
It hasn't really become stronger anyway.
Right.
But like, yeah, every now and then you get that because I think it's not really the endorsement thing. It's just basically more people seeing that this is being used.
Yeah.
So for example, Nutrition Kitchen, if they call me and they're like, "Hey, could you eat some of our food?" I'm like, "No problem. Could you post
Yeah.
it up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll eat the food first."
Yeah.
You know?
You'll see.
Yeah.
I like to think again. This is all our comedian hypocrisy, but I like to think having that integrity is important.
Yeah.
Until something that you really want to have, like Soho House, that maybe other people will not benefit from, and then you're like, "That's the best thing ever."
So this is the thing. Actually, someone did ask me, "Are there any brands you won't want to represent?" And I was like, "You know what? The only thing I can think of, honestly, is like Apple."
Yeah,
Just
I
because
understand
I've
that.
never been, I've used Mac and stuff
Yeah.
before, but I never got into it.
I
like
actually
iPhone.
completely 100% on board with that.
Yeah.
I've always said I've never owned an Apple product in my life.
Yeah.
Still though, I have one laptop from my day job with like an Apple laptop, but it's not even mine. It belongs to the office.
Yeah.
Other than that, never owned an Apple product.
Yeah.
Not even an iPod back in the day.
There
Nothing.
you go. Yeah, exactly. Because like,
And I don't fucking get it. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like. It's not like Soho House. It's not a good example.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing is like a status thing, right?
yeah, it used to be. I mean, like it used to be the whole designer feel like I have an Apple computer. But then what's happened now? It locks you in. It's kind of like saying you're doing only one club. As a comedian.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's say a club in a basement or something like that. And you only do that club, and
Yeah.
now you're like going around telling everyone, "Oh, look at me, I'm a very special comedian." I only
Right,
do this."
right.
But then eventually you lock yourself in.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you lock yourself in, no matter how many curtains you pull, no
Yeah.
matter how many open mic nights you do on your own and everything, you're still locked in your little ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to all the other comedians who are like all over the place doing different stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest issue. However, having said that,
Apple wants to
if
send you
Apple
a free
contacts me,
charger.
or like a free cable,
Exactly.
I don't mind plugging
They're
it
selling
in.
now the cables and the charger head separately.
I have no idea what
What a
cable.
scam.
I've completely not kept track of any of their cables.
Yeah, I just read like the new. But I
Yeah.
think Europe. That was actually kind of cool. Europe, I think, just forced them. The EU forced them to have a USB-C for their next products. They're like, stop
Wow.
with your bullshit. Fucking.
Can you imagine politicians going like, "You better get that USB-C in
Yeah,
there"? man."
yeah.
I'm like, really? Like
Yeah.
these guys probably don't even know what a USB-C is. They're like, all I know is that you better get a USB-C.
Yeah.
USB.
Yeah. USB.
Oh man.
Another thing, actually, a couple of things that we can catch up on. Did you watch the new Batman movie?
I have not watched it.
Oh, you haven't?
Have
God
you watched
damn it! Yeah, I have. I just watched it
I'm
a couple
still
of
waiting
nights ago.
because I want to go with the girlfriend and my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't want to know anything about it. Everyone's saying great things about it. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, don't even talk to me. The problem is like I'm trying to wait out the cinema where I can eat popcorn.
Oh, okay. So I think this is the episode when I actually, not you, I probably might get in trouble because admitting way too many things.
Yeah.
But fuck it. We went to the cinema and had a lot of snacks. To be
How?
honest, we went to the cinema. I can tell you off air which
Wait,
cinema.
hold on. I get it. So you're doing the Ramadan accidentally ate the food kind
Yeah,
of thing, right?
exactly,
Like, oh,
yeah.
damn, this fell in my mouth again.
This is actually kind of funny.
Nice.
We went at like 9 p.m. Screening. I will tell you off air which cinema.
Yeah.
But there is zero security. No one checked our bag. We had a tote bag clearly full of snacks. Like there was like Doritos bag half sticking out.
Yeah.
They didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
We were in like a kind of fancy cinema where like one of these rooms would has like maybe 25 seats.
Oh, those small ones. Yeah.
So and there are like slots for like drinks and like a little tray in front
I
of
mean,
you.
they're putting it. You know, like okay, so this is a thing, right? You
Yeah.
know, like when you go to the playground and
Yeah.
they like seal the playground up, like
Yeah,
telling you
yeah, yeah.
can't play.
Yeah.
Did they seal the cup holder?
No.
There you go.
No,
See,
no.
they didn't do their job.
No, they clearly. I know. I don't know that. I don't know what the rule is right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, because we had so many snacks and drinks, we had our masks down while we're eating and
So Mo,
drinking.
let me tell you, the rule even before COVID is you can't bring your own snacks.
Oh, really?
Technically, you can. So this has got nothing to do with COVID. This is purely illegal, even like 5 years ago.
Right, okay.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I mean, we just had like we're a group of like 5-6 people.
Yeah.
We're passing the snacks around.
Oh, God.
The one funny thing is like, so when we're eating or drinking, we had our masks down.
Yeah.
But my point is that you can take stuff in. I'll tell you which cinema.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that like I was having a bag of Doritos at some point.
Yeah.
And I was passing it to my friend behind me. And the guy next to me is like, can you stop with the sound? I was like,
yeah.
he was so annoyed. And that's when I go like, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that asshole.
Yeah, right. You should have said sorry in the Batman voice. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I went like California girl voice.
Sorry. God.
Jesus. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Like, Jesus.
God.
Yeah.
I was just at the theater.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Like, if you don't like it, have some Cheetos. If you want some, just ask. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I will not give you any spoilers or whatever.
Yeah.
The movie is long. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It's. I think the official time is like 2 hours 59 minutes or something like that.
3 hours? Woo.
Yeah. No break in the middle either.
Okay. That'd be weird to have a break halfway through. It's like,
Yeah.
I am take a break.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to ask questions, I can tell you carefully what
Yeah.
kind of like I can tell you that I enjoyed it, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very general.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
People have different opinions, obviously, like most things. If you are probably a lot of people listening have watched it, write in. Tell us how you thought of the Batman.
What is your eating strategy at the cinema? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, if you've
Yeah.
been to the theater in Hong Kong, let us know how you did you smuggle stuff in?
Yeah.
Were they strict?
Yeah.
And what did you think of the movie? I thought some choices were very interesting. What I would say is that it's a completely different feel
Yeah.
of a Batman. And I think I talked about this in the podcast. I'm not really, because I didn't exactly grow up with the comic books,
Yeah.
I'm
so
not
it's like
really
a parallel
attached to them.
Yeah.
So I'm just like watching it as a standalone movie.
Yeah. You
And
won't
this
be
is why
like,
I like
"That's
the
not
Joker
right."
movie
Yeah.
because it's almost like there's no superhero element to it.
Yeah.
It can be a regular movie. Forget
Yes.
about Gotham. It can be like New York or whatever.
Yeah.
It would be exactly the same. And this Batman felt kind of like that as well. When it's just like, this is just a movie.
Yeah.
That just happens to be in a parallel world.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually curious to know like everyone's different strategies of getting food into the cinema.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this. Okay. So I'm a cheap cinema goer, as in like I try to avoid their popcorn if I can. But nowadays I'm like I want the butter popcorn. Making it at home is not the same.
Yeah.
But the chips and everything. So what I do is right. I'm very. What's the word? Like I'm not trying to ruin anyone's experience.
Yeah.
So what I do is I only open my packet of chips.
When it's like a big explosion.
Yeah, I do that, right? And I only put it in my mouth when like explosion and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I do is I put a whole bunch in my mouth.
Yeah.
So when I crush him for the explosion, I have a whole bunch to savor for the next 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I've got that one. So I've got that. I'm not a big drinker because like the whole straw thing.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to leave the little liquid left at the bottom of the cup where I'm like. I don't want none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't do too many drinks. I normally use like water bottles. That's what I do. But I'm really big on popcorn in the cinema. Like that is key for me.
Yeah.
Like this is the only time when these calories don't count.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, my fingers are greasy from the butter and the
Yeah.
salt. I'm like, this is fine.
Do you do the same thing like me? I think most people do that. When you like clean your hand on like the
seat, full on, man.
Okay.
Full on. The
Thank
seat,
God.
Everything I'm doing that, you know. I'm dropping popcorn. I'm like, I'm not picking that shit up.
Yeah.
Right? All that stuff is
I
happening.
mean, cinema tickets are expensive.
Yes.
I don't think actually you should feel bad about like, not picking up the little popcorn under your seat. Like, it's fine.
I mean, I subscribe to the whole, when you're in McDonald's, don't pick up your tray thing where they talk about there's actually a person that gets hired to do that.
All right, that's where I draw a line. I do, because you know why? I understand that like if we all do that, they're not gonna hire these people.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they never hire young people for this job.
Yes.
It's people who are so old that I'm like, lady, take a break. I'm way faster than you.
Yeah, let me help
This is
you out,
what I'm
right?
doing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what I guess what you can do is give them the impression that there's a whole bunch of trays on the tables, but then you help them take care of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, please keep hiring them.
Yeah.
I just see the lady like, I finish my food and she's like starting to walk to me.
Like, I gotta wait.
Like, I gotta wait. I'm like, otherwise I just leave it there like an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, you clean up.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I literally sometimes what I do is like I catch her next to the bin and I walk all the way there and then give it to her so she can put it in the bin. I'm like, look, you're doing something.
That's fair. That's a very good middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you the cinema wise. Since we're talking cinema, there's a few things that I've always been curious about. Number one, when you get in the cinema, let's say you're late for the movie, right? And your seat's in the middle. Now you got to get through all the people, their legs. Are you the forward facing, as in I'm looking at the screen trying to get through?
Yeah.
Or are you backward facing, as I'm looking at the audience I'm trying to get through?
I'm more looking at the audience,
right?
Because I have to make sure that their like legs are up or whatever. Otherwise, I'm just like hitting everyone's feet or stepping on them. So I'm making eye contact, apologizing to everybody, obviously because I'm late.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And sometimes if someone is bigger or the space is not that big, they have to like stand up and you have to have that awkward, really close contact moment.
You have that. So I've actually developed a catwalk technique. So you literally like try to squeeze your legs so it's like single file.
That's so funny.
And so that way you can kind of still see the screen.
Yeah.
But you can still see the audience.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do that now. Right? That's one thing. But what I like to do is I always have my, I'm big on my backpack, right? My backpack's never small. So I love keeping the backpack in front.
Yeah.
And then when people walk over, like sometimes when I was younger, I would do that. I'd leave the backpack there. I'm like, well, hurdles, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Life's full of challenges.
Yeah,
when you're
next
late,
time, come early.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like, wait, I realize that after a while, some people are really not flexible. And when they so-called hurdle, they end up kicking my bag. And I'm like, okay, that
you're like, all right, that didn't work.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm just going to pick this up. Please, you go inside.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Number 2, have you ever encountered the over-enthusiastic usher who does not want to in any way interrupt any audience member while they're watching the movie?
Oh, yeah.
I've had an usher.
So they stand on the other side sometimes of the theater with the stupid light thing.
Yeah.
And they're just pointing over. I'm like, you're still distracting people.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to get cats to play or something? Like a little laser.
Imagine, everyone just starts chasing it like cats.
Yeah, I bet you got that. So, have you had the usher who walks past the front row? That little gap between the screen and the front row, and they crouch down.
What's the point of that?
So because they probably don't want to get in people's views.
Sure.
But do you crouch down along with them?
If I'm following them, mostly not. No.
Okay, so me, I would go peer pressure completely. I'm like, he's crouching down, I better crouch down as well. Damn, I feel bad now,
No, I do try to rush really fast.
Yes, for sure. I try not to block the screen
So
because I'm like,
rushing is, I do that, but it's also like crouching seems kind of pointless.
yeah, a little bit too much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've had that where they kind of semi-crouch, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. So I'm like, why couldn't we go from the other way?
It's kind of like that experiment when people like got into the elevator, and everyone is looking the other way away from the door.
Do you look? Yeah. You're
It's
like,
so funny.
What are they seeing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a full credits person or only once the credits roll, I'm out?
I am a music person, so usually the good like the if it's good music score, I know that the end credit is gonna have good music, so I stay and listen to that.
Yeah.
I don't really. I know in the Marvel world or whatever, they're big on like after post credits.
I would never know. I would never know.
Oh, you're a DC guy.
Yeah.
Is it not common in the DC world?
Actually, no. They do have a lot of like music, and also they might have like
like the post credit.
Oh yeah, they might have every now and then. So usually when they do have that, people kind of for some reason know, and you have everyone sitting there.
Yeah.
Like they're all not moving, so it must be something over here, right?
I always think nerds.
Yeah. So there was a time when I remember when I was studying university because I was in creative media and they were all at video school, and they were like, it's really disrespectful to leave during the credits. Those people put in the hard work. So one day I was at the cinema.
So are you supposed to just like read everyone's names? Like,
John. I don't know that guy. Right? Yeah. So one time I was like, okay, let me be respectful and sit there. And I was sitting there. I'm watching all the other people sitting there, and you could clearly see everyone's just faking it.
Yeah,
just going like, I'm so interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah,
about
like you're
this,
trying to read. Like, what are you? Yeah.
Yeah, you have that. I mean, it's not one of those things where the music was fantastic. And even if they do, usually when they start rolling the proper credits, that's when the music is like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Just go on Spotify. You get that stuff.
One thing I remembered about the Batman, actually two things when you're talking about the credits. Number one is that the music choices are super interesting in the movie.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of Nirvana in the movie, and there is a lot of like Ave Marie. In different variations of the song.
Okay.
Which was really, really cool, in my opinion, because I'm really big on music and cinematography.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I thought is, this is completely like my stupid brain, is that there was a scene when they were in a venue of some funeral of some sort. And the first thing I thought of, like, this would be great for a comedy show.
Oh, the venue?
The promoter side of my brain went, oh my God, this venue is amazing.
Yeah. What's this venue? I need to know that. I need a floor plan right now.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, close to a stage. There is like 2 floors.
Yeah.
I'm like, doors are on the other side.
Yeah.
The bar is on this side.
Yeah.
This is a great venue.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
is sat down.
Yeah. Like, this is so good. This is so sad, man. Occupational hazard right there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, can't I just enjoy something without thinking about, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, if you ever want to transform your home into like a Batman feel, I highly recommend go to Spotify and check out Batman has a whole bunch of soundtracks, right?
Yeah.
But you might go to the movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Go get the Batman game soundtrack. There's a Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you this. Dim your lights.
Yeah.
Soho House them.
Yeah.
All right. Like play that music and
have overpriced food.
Overpriced food. Sit over there, get your nutrition kitchen. You know, cook your little thing. Have the music playing, and then sit there with just one lamp over you, like a film noir kind of deal.
That's so cool.
And sit there, and then the next phone call you get, have the music playing.
Yeah.
And when you pick it up, just go, yeah. But people are like, oh,
just
shit.
pick up and go, where is she?
Yeah, where is she? Yeah, exactly. Who is this?
And it's probably like one of the salespeople. Hi, do you want to borrow money?
Yeah.
Where is she?
Yeah. How much? What's the interest rate? Yeah. I'm Bruce Wayne. I don't need your money.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that I highly recommend it. Turn it into a whole experience. For me, actually, so I have this Batman board game, right?
Yeah.
And every time I play that board game, I have to transform my whole room into a Batman scenario. So I have the Batman music. I have the lights all lit up, like only yellow and blue lights.
Yeah.
I've got to have that kind of thing. And I'll have my...
Do you have the logo on the ceiling as well?
I haven't got that one yet. No, I haven't. But what I do is I get my laptop and just load like random graphics.
Yeah.
Just, like, as if it's like the Bat Cave.
Right, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, look at me. I'm in the Bat Cave. Let me play some board games now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have that. That's the closest I've gotten.
Nice.
To the Batman feel. So yeah, that's another thing you could do. Again, this is entertainment that we do to ourselves when you don't have a Soho House membership.
Right,
If I did though, if I had a Soho House membership that I was given for free, I wouldn't be doing all this stuff at home.
That's right.
I would go to Soho House,
Yeah.
be amongst your members,
Yeah, and then maybe entertain them.
and you never know. I might be like, itching for some comedy,
Yeah.
end up in a room just doing a whole set for free,
Right.
because I was a member.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
You know what's crazy about Soho House is that a lot of people it's supposed to be for creatives, right?
Yes.
But most people have regular jobs, like and finance. So I saw a meme. It's like you don't ask a man his salary, and you don't ask a woman her age, and you don't ask a Soho House member what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Because they're all bullshitting mostly. So actually, someone on stage at the last show asked the audience, and most people didn't even want to say what they do.
Yeah.
They're like, so is there an actual artist here? I
Yeah.
think it was Jordan as well. Is there an actual artist? And like, I think one person raised their hand and said, I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah.
But then he's like, for what? And he said, like, it's a multinational. Still
Yeah,
a corporate job.
Yeah. You're not one of those like.
It's supposed to be. Oh, there was one painter who is, I guess, a real artist.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's mostly. I mean, I know people who joined as quote unquote comedians.
Yeah.
But they work in like finance and whatever.
Yeah.
But if they give us a membership, then you're
Maybe
actually getting people who are
actual creative.
actual creatives.
Like who don't have a day job that's just sustaining. This is it.
I do my day job for free, so it's not really.
There you go. Yeah, but I mean the creative thing is what's sustaining.
Exactly.
You get it. Yeah. So
and we have a record of 102 episodes proving that we're in the creative field.
Exactly. Like anyone asks, well, what creativity do you? We do a podcast.
Exactly.
We do comedy. We got this, we got that, we video this, or whatever, a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, we did the freaking Shopstream gig at Soho House before, didn't we?
Yeah, that
You
was
and
it.
me.
Yeah. When we did one episode with Shopstream,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually did it at Soho House. I
That's
remember
right.
They had the bar.
So we
and
can
everything.
actually, that's another offer on the table for Soho
Just
House.
saying, yeah.
We can actually record the podcast from one of your rooms.
Yeah.
We can videotape it. We can, have your little logo behind it or whatever.
Yeah. But there's only one reason why we're not doing that right now. You know what that is?
Oh, we're not members yet.
They won't let us in.
Exactly.
We would love to do the exact same thing right now, not use my little shitty table.
Yeah.
Use like a classy table,
That's
always
right.
found in Soho House.
Yeah.
We don't need the lighting.
No.
It's fine. The dimly lit is thing. In fact, it helps with the video as well.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. It
Happy
makes
to
us
do
look
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing we're asking for is like now I'm upgrading because we're doing more.
Yeah.
Worldwide Soho House membership.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've kind of got them foot in the door.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
upsell.
Yeah,
them a little bit, like,
let me see
like,
how much
If I'm just a member, I'll just show up.
Yeah.
If you want the podcast, that's
Yeah.
got to be international. Because who knows? One day we're in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And we need to record.
And we need to, yeah, exactly.
What do
Instead of doing like shitty Zoom recording,
Yeah, exactly.
we can be on.
You want to maintain
one of
the
us
sa-
can be.
right? You want to
Yeah.
maintain the same Soho House acoustics.
Yeah.
People listen to the episode, they're like, this doesn't sound like a Soho House room.
Yeah.
This clearly sounds like a WeWork room. And they're like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
know what has
Yeah.
happened,
What is happening to my Patreon money? It's not
Exactly,
going
right?
to the right place.
I know, that's not what's happening. So yeah, I mean, obviously I would never want to take the Patreon money and basically subscribe to like the Soho House
No,
membership with that.
no.
That's not what it was meant for.
No.
The Patreon money was to help us improve the podcast.
Yeah.
It can improve with Soho House
Yeah.
only if it's free.
That's right.
There's a formula to our magic.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
People are like, it doesn't work that way. We don't buy equipment,
Yeah.
just we don't spend money like that. We calculate it in such a way. All right,
Yeah.
okay. So I think by now, if Soho House is going to give us a membership, we should have gotten it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're not going to, I think all the selling we do now is not going to help at all. So I'm going to stop right now.
Yeah.
And anyone who's a member of Soho House, every now and then just mention, while you're over there, just put your phone on your table.
Yeah.
Forget to plug in your headphones.
Yeah.
Play an episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
What a great podcast.
What a great
they have here.
podcast, and then like every now and then, and the key here is not just playing randomly.
Yeah.
When you notice staff walking by, play it then,
Yeah.
and just go. you
Yeah.
know, the staff's like, why are they always giggling? What is this thing we're
Yeah.
listening? And then the motion will happen.
Yeah.
And the things. This is the law of attraction.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to put all the pieces together.
I am now concerned about what you think the law of attraction is when it comes to dating. It's just like you just pass by the table every day. You're like,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
Do you listen to my podcast?
Exactly. Hello.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Are you a painter? So you have that. All right. Okay. So we've covered a lot of things today. We covered like Batman.
Yeah,
Covered Soho House.
yeah,
Everything's dimly lit so far.
yeah.
But I want to come back to one thing that is not dimly lit, which is the comedy shows. Now,
Yes.
what are the comedy shows? What's the status of you as the producer as well? Have you had thoughts about running shows and everything as well?
Yeah. So we had a couple of complications since so one of the reasons is the legal aspect of like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah.
Because my interpretation is that phase 1, you cannot do any live performance. Number 1, unless you have a performance, the venue has a performance
Yes,
license.
yeah.
But number 2, it cannot be a bar. It
Yeah.
has to be a place with food license.
It's
like a
really
kitchen
weird,
license.
yeah.
It's very strange. So for example, the Aftermath cannot really open in this phase because even though they have a kitchen, they're still renovating the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's not a functional kitchen.
Yeah.
So I think you can still go hang out at the Aftermath now, but we cannot do shows.
Yeah.
And this is not a secret. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think by phase 2, which is like mid-May or whatever.
Some of that.
Yeah. Then
I think phase 2 just started. Anyways, it's really weird now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So regular bars without food license can open on phase 2. And then we can do shows only if the venue has a performance license.
Wow.
So because of all that, the hub is running into some complications. We are waiting for them to sort themselves out. I am kind of on the... Actually, I'm glad you asked because I'm kind of like on the lookout for possibly alternative venues for the hub. So if you're in Hong Kong and you're in this industry or this space and you see something, you can get in touch with us and let me know. It's like, hey, I've seen this venue. Would you guys be interested in something like that? Or if you are in the F&B industry or a venue owner or something like that. What I would be looking for is something within Hong Kong Island, but like not to be so expatty stereotype, but it will have to be between Wan Chai and Shangwan. It can go. One chai and Sai Kung.
Yeah.
Because this is, let's face it. Like as much as we want to pretend that, this is for everybody, it's very expat heavy. Industry in a way.
Especially in the English shows mostly, right?
I'm talking about the English shows. I mean, for the Cantonese shows, you run them everywhere, and it's fair game. Exactly. But for beyond one chai or Sai Kung, like even if you go into Kennedy Town, that's when it comes residential again, and then you're losing kind of like some potential audience.
Yeah, it's a bit too chill that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with the exception of Admiralty, because I'm not gonna do a show in the backdrop of the freaking government.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's when you got lawyers to your left, government to your right. You're like, not happening, man.
Yeah. So one chai, two Sai, to basically, the expat, like the commercial areas.
Yeah, the more frequently expated area.
Correct. So what about yourself? Do you have the Cantonese show coming up tonight?
Yeah, we're doing the Cantonese show tonight. We're recording on Sunday, so it's happening tonight. We're going to start from there, and hopefully our monthly shows come back again. And eventually it picks up, hopefully, with different areas. We're trying to do like one Kowloon, one Hong Kong, one New Territories, one, zigzag like that.
Yeah.
And make it like a double show per month kind of deal, and eventually grow into weekly as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the goal. So
we have a lot of locals listening as well. How do people follow your shows?
So for our Cantonese, the group is called Hall of Laughs. Yeah, so halloflaughs.com goes to the Facebook page with lists all the stuff. Tim Chan basically takes charge more. Like it used to be me mostly, but like now I've gotten old.
Yeah.
And
you just hand over.
I'm like, please, son, please, young man, take it.
Yeah.
So he takes care of a lot of that.
And
stuff.
you're like, the students surpassed the master.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Like, good you are.
Did you call him Tim Youngblood?
Yeah,
you should be calling him
Tim Youngblood. That would be good.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get it though. He's like, why is my blood young?
Dude, Tim was also on the Soho House show.
Yeah.
Tim is so fun. Tim Chan, if you have not seen him, so funny.
Yeah.
He was opening, and he kind of went over time, but because he was doing so well, Tim is one of the guys that we also like as comedians. There are a few guys that are like comedians. Tambi Chan is like the king of that.
Yeah.
Was like every time, because Tambi Chan is such a roller coaster to watch on stage.
Yeah.
And he does mostly well, but he takes so many risks that you always think like, oh my God, this is crazy. But Tim Chan, on the other hand, is different, because Tim might not take as many risks, but he's just funny to watch.
Yeah.
The fact that because his English is not that strong, and sometimes when like something doesn't go as planned, like he gets heckled or whatever, the way he deals with it is so playful and cute.
Yeah.
And his bad English adds to the hilarity of it. So funny.
Like whatever you do, you heckle him, and then you feel bad. Like I shouldn't have heckled him.
Exactly.
I was punching down. It's not right.
And sometimes like his segues as well, even though they seem intentional, they're not. I know that because I watch it so often. Like sometimes he goes like he says something bad about his girlfriend, and then he realizes she's in the room.
Yeah. He's like,
and she's like, yeah, she's here. I love her. And he keeps going. It's just these little lines.
Yeah.
Very funny to watch.
He's getting to the point. Cantonese mentality for an English show, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like just say what you say and move on, man.
Yeah.
Oh God. Like this is the final thing I want to bring up is like I think now with the phase 2 supposedly starting, something like that. It's a lot of weird things that we're still trying to figure out. Even for us, like so for the performer, apparently the performer's got to do like the test, the PCR test.
Right.
If you want to keep your mask off, distance, and you got to keep track of all your audience for 31 days. You have to know the details. It's really, really weird. Which brings me to one last final point I want to talk about in the free episode is that our upcoming chief executive, right? Yeah, Mr. John Lee.
Yeah.
I wanna say like
I want to say I'm a fan. Yeah. And I think it's the right decision.
Yes.
I think he would be great for Hong Kong.
Yes.
And I respect the committee that picks
is
him.
going to be picking him.
Yeah. And I also think it's going to be fierce elections.
Yes.
And it's going to be very competitive, but I'm rooting for him.
I have a few things to basically make the whole thing seem more legit and also a bit more fun. Number one, he needs to have the Matrix as one of his ad campaigns where he's like, I am the one. He needs to do that because he is the only one.
Right.
So why is he not taking advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to do that, number one. And number two, he can consider having an alter ego. He needs to have an opposite version of himself to discuss policies. You get it? Like, remember, have you seen the Colbert Report?
Yeah.
Way back? And he used to, like, Stephen Colbert used to talk to himself.
Yes,
me versus me, something like that.
Yeah.
He should do that, dude.
Yeah.
If he did that, I guarantee that the ratings just zooms up in the sky.
Yeah, because he would have, like, his alter ego, like, debating his policy. And selling it in like a playful way.
Exactly. He'd have himself and he'd have the angel advocate.
Right.
Where like he so you have the opposite. So that'll be one thing he consider.
Yeah.
And lastly, I feel he needs to have his own theme song.
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah.
Which I think we should have a whole thing when when they do the handover.
Yeah.
So Carrie Lam should be standing in a wrestling ring.
Oh.
And then she is playing. So what is her theme song first?
Her theme song is probably, I don't know, Titanic. My heart will go on, something like that.
Right.
I'm trying to otherwise, no. What other one would be right for her? Would it be like one of the? What was that? What's that? Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she could do that and literally come in a wrecking ball.
But then, just like the WWE, it gets interrupted in the middle.
Yeah.
And then it gets all dark.
Lights out.
Out, exactly.
Yeah.
Soho House style.
Oh.
And then John Lee comes out.
Yeah.
And then it's the John Cena theme song. Which is like, and then it's like, your time is up. My time is now.
Yeah.
No. And then Sky Lam looks so shocked.
Yeah.
Like she didn't know he's coming.
Yeah. So
you can't see me. My time is now.
Exactly.
You can't
right?
see me because it's lights out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's how light works, right? Yeah. No, I was thinking actually what did she do, right? She's in the ring, right? She's over there. She comes in like in a wrecking ball, lands, gets on the ring, and she's standing there, right? And normally before anything happens, they have to look left, look right, look at the crowd, and the crowd's like, "Brr, brr,"
Yeah.
and they're looking at her like, and they got a mic in their hand, and she's like, hey, I'm out of here soon, so that you can take your anger and your hate. I don't care, right? See all that stuff. And while she's talking, it has to be interruption, right?
Yeah.
Boom, lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out, right? Not John Cena song, Undertaker.
Ooh,
Boom,
amazing.
right?
The church song.
Yeah, boom, right? And there's like smoke coming out. You have that. And out of nowhere, she's standing in the ring still.
Yeah.
Lights up, John Lee behind her.
That's amazing. Yeah, she's waiting for looking at the entrance.
Yeah.
Like waiting for him, and he's just behind her. And that's
Right.
like iconic scene of him looking down.
Yeah, right,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Oh no, he has to have that stupid duck mask.
Yeah. And then the duck mask taps her on the shoulder.
Yeah.
He's gonna speak like, "Toot, toot,
And then he
toot."
goes quack.
Yeah. Get out of here, you quack. Yeah. And then takes her and then basically throws her to the ropes, bounces her a couple of times.
Yeah.
Boom, pile driver, bam. Tombstone.
Tombstone, yeah, that's
Tombstone,
it.
there we go.
Yeah.
And then basically, like how the Undertaker normally he has his eyes roll back?
Yeah.
John Lee doesn't do that. Just raises his eyebrows. Yeah. His eyebrows permanently raised.
Right.
And then the referee comes in, like some guy from the Chinese committee comes in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then
Tap.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. The handover is complete.
The handover is complete.
I guarantee the amount of viewership you would get would surpass Mirror.
Exactly. And not just that, we should have it as a Money in the Bank event. Which, if you're not a WWE fan, Money in the Bank is like when they have a bag with
suitcase,
little money hanging on top of the ring, and you're supposed to climb a ladder.
Yeah.
But the twist here is that all the money is in cash,
Yeah.
Because Carrie Lam couldn't put her money in the bank.
John can't either.
John
They're
can't
both
either.
sanctioned.
Yeah. So they're fighting over her money.
Yeah.
And if he wins, then he takes some of her money.
Yeah.
And okay, here's a serious question to end with that. How is she gonna what is she gonna do with her money? Because now she has to move out of the government building.
Yeah.
And then what is she gonna do with all her cash?
I tell you what, she can sponsor 2 memberships to Soho House. You can do
Listen, if you tag her and our accounts, I will kill you. Because don't do that. But she does have an Instagram account. But yeah, don't tag her, please.
No.
Thank you so much for listening. This was a lot of fun to catch up on. There is a lot of stuff happening in Hong Kong. One thing actually before we leave, they just reduced the quarantine for cabin crew to 3 days, which is kind of a good sign, right?
Yeah.
What
Finally.
do you think is going to happen to Hong Kong residents?
I'm really finger crossed hoping, like, if you cut it down to 3 days at a hotel, fair enough. Look, if you think 7 days home quarantine, I'll pick that over 3 days hotel quarantine.
Right, because you're cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
I would actually pick the 3 days and book like the nicest hotel in Hong Kong with just 3 days.
Enjoy staycation
Yeah,
yourself.
just enjoy staycation.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if honestly, like, home quarantine for 1 week, I can do 3 days in a hotel. Oh, if that happens, a miracle, man.
Right.
You will see an influx of people coming to Hong Kong.
Yeah,
Finally, we can even consider talking to comedians. Hey, you want to fly to Hong Kong?
Exactly.
And do a show?
Yeah, 3 days. We
Finally.
can actually sponsor some tickets
that
or
might
whatever.
work out. We'll see.
Thanks so much for listening in. If you're enjoying what we're doing, you can buy us a coffee or buy Vivek a masala chai latte, because I'm racist, and buymeacoffee.com/hohopod. Patreon, we're about to record a Patreon episode after this one. Every single week we have bonus content on Patreon, patreon.com/hohopod. We have 40 patrons supporting us right now, so join the gang and get some extra free cool content, and it's for $5 a month. What do you think? Why do you think people should support us on Patreon, Vivek?
Because the episodes are awesome. We talk about a lot of cool things. We actually put in some effort into that episode.
We do.
This is us just sitting here with our legs up on the table, like, let's talk for an hour. You know, Patreon, we actually discuss before the episode what we're going to talk about.
That's right.
So we don't really just wing it. We actually go in there with an idea.
Yeah.
So check it out. You'll see a higher quality version of ourselves, and also be part of a community. It's kind of like our own Soho House.
That's right.
But we're actually creative.
So join us there, and you'll see the links to everything we talked about on the episode on the description. And see you next week.